What's good? My name is Jamie. Welcome to the second episode of All Things Podcast. I am here today with host Isaac. Today is a great episode we have lined up because we have a ton of topics and we're just going to talk about them as normal podcasts do. Before we kick off today's episode, we would like to thank you for all of your support on the last episode. So yeah, thank you. But Queensland, some pretty bad news. Queensland's gotten 4 new COVID-19 cases overnight, which isn't great at all in any sense.
We have many insane topics to talk about, just like the COVID cases in Queensland. But we'll be kicking it off with a boxing update. Now I'm the pro at that, so I'll take it away. At the moment, Tim Tszyu is actually one of Australia's best boxers, and it looks like he is going to win a world title. Tim Tszyu's dad is Costa Tszyu actually, and Costa Tszyu is a massive Australian Russian boxing world champion, and his son Tim is continuing his legacy after Tim defeated two-time world champion Jeff Horn in Townsville. Then after that, he defeated a few more big names like world champion contender Dennis Hogan and Steve Spark for the vacant Commonwealth Super Welterweight title and won. I was there for that Townsville fight, ringside, as my uncle is actually Jeff's trainer, so I've been to pretty much all Jeff's fight. Townsville wasn't a great result for Jeff, but a good one for Tim, and it really looks like Tim is going to be one of Australia's greatest boxers and win a world title, just like Jeff did. Tim Tszyu actually has a big fight coming up against world boxing superstar Japanese boxer Katashi Kitano down at the Gold Coast on November 17. I'm actually probably going to go down to the Gold Coast to watch that fight, but yeah, I do think Tim will win. He's in his prime at the moment, and he's not letting anyone get in his way of getting a world title fight. And it has been said that whoever wins this fight will actually get a world title fight. But Takashi is like 20 years older than Tim, so I don't think Takashi will take a world title fight. He might, like Manny Pacquiao at the moment, he's 40 years old, 41, and he's world title holder, so he might. It'll be interesting, but yeah, I do think Tim will win. I do hope Tim can be Australia's next world champ, but yeah, Takashi does have more experience than Tim. Takashi is actually an MMA fighter, so he would be good in the UFC, but yeah, this is boxing, so it will be a good fight. As I said, Tim is nearly 20 years younger than Takashi, so I predict the fight to be stopped around round 8 or 9 in Tim's favor.
In other boxing news for mainly our younger audience, Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley rematch might be in the works. As we know, Tyron Woodley lost to Jake Paul a couple months ago. Jake Paul said that he would be down to do a rematch if uh, Tyron Woodley got a tattoo that said, I love Jake Paul. Tyron Woodley has done that. So, yeah, I would say, knowing Jake, I would say no. I would say that his ego is too big to risk a rematch or anything. And that boxing match was against Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul was very close. I think Tyron Woodley got unlucky with the ruling. I reckon it could have gone his way. We've seen Jake Paul do that before. We've seen him win against Anderson Gibb, um, Edgy, and most recently, Ben Askren, who's a professional fighter. Personally, I don't think Jake Paul will take a rematch, but hopefully they do, obviously, because I reckon Tyron Woodley definitely can beat Jake Paul because that was just an unlucky match, I believe.
Jake is all up himself and stuff. I do hope they do a rematch. It'll be a good fight, but yeah, I do hope Tyron wins. Last night for the NRL, we had the Dally M Awards. Tom Travojevic got Daily M medal. Good on him. I think he deserved it. Manly were a good team this year. Tom Travojevic basically carried the team. He's a great fullback. He's a great player, And yeah, I like Tom Trbojevic. He's alright. Yeah, he definitely deserved it. I had a feeling he was going to win. You know, he was a great player this season. So yeah, good on him. Coach of the season went to Craig Bellamy, Melbourne Storm coach. No surprise to that. He's got it past few years, I think. Yeah, he's a good coach. Coached the Storm. Storm, great side, always have been. Except this year they lost the Panthers, but they've always been great side. Good on him. Um, um, James Tedesco got captain of the season, which is good for him. I haven't heard much about James Tedesco this season. I used to follow him, but yeah, he plays for Sydney Roosters now, which is pretty good, pretty cool. He used to play for the Tigers. When he played for the Tigers, that's when I followed him. But he plays for Roosters, and I don't really like the Roosters. But yeah, good on him for getting Captain of the Year. Cody Walker, a South Sydney Rabbitohs player, got best 5'8". Let's go. He definitely deserves that. Two Rabbitohs players got a Dally M Award. So Cody Walker and Alex Johnston. Cody Walker with best 5'8", and Alex Johnston, top try scorer. Um, then Tom Trbojevic again got best fullback. I actually think Tom Trbojevic and Tim Zoo the boxer we were talking about before, they actually look similar. I feel like Tom Trbojevic is like just a whiter version of Tim Zoo. I don't know. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put two pictures of them up on the screen. You guys tell me if you're watching on Spotify or any other podcast service. I do apologize, but if you're watching on YouTube, tell me, do they look alike? Best hooker went to Melbourne Storm player Brendan Smith. You know, I don't know much about him. I heard about him, but I wish the best hooker went to Damien Cook, Rabbitohs hooker. He's got it a few times, like last year I think. He's a great hooker, but this guy seems like he deserved it. Good on him. Best rookie went to Sam Walker. Good on him. I've heard a lot about him, and he's a great rookie, Sam Walker. Yeah, he definitely deserves that. Plays for the Sydney Roosters. Even though I don't like Sydney Roosters, I respect this guy. Great rookie. Payne Haas got the best prop, Broncos player. Can't really say much about that. Basically, even though Broncos didn't do very good this season, he played for New South Wales. So yeah, I guess he deserves it. Good on him. And then Tom Trbojevic again got try of the year. No surprise. Tom Trbojevic won 3 awards last night. Dally M, best fullback, and try of the year. Good on him. Good on him. Xavier Coates, another rookie, plays for the Broncos. He also played for Queensland. He's a rookie as well. He's only like 20 years old, born in 2001. So he got tackle of the year, which is good. His Broncos are in like their rebuild time. Like all their good players have retired, obviously. And now they're just rebuilding the team with all these young people. And then in a few years' time, they're gonna come back up, make the top 8 because they're just getting all the young players, which is actually good for them because even though they're doing bad now, once those players get more experience, they're gonna know how to play with each other because they've already played with each other before. And so I do think Broncos will actually become a good team again. And then Alex Johnston, as I said, top try scorer. And Nathan Cleary. Me and Jamie don't like him, do we, Jamie?
Not really, Isaac. Talked a bit of smack about him yesterday.
Did.
Or the other episode, and yeah, he's not. Let's just say he's not my favourite player after what happened in New South Wales versus Queensland.
He got best halfback, I guess. Good on him. His face messed up. But anyway, no hate. Good on him. And so, yeah, they were the Dally M Awards from last night, NRL. Good on all the players that won an award. And good on Tom Trbojevic winning the Dally M medal and 2 other awards.
Some unfortunate news in England right now. Petrol and diesel stations are running dry, so losing fuel. Across many cities in England, and up to 90% of British fuel stations are dry right now. This is causing fights, like assaults, arrests, and strikes. So like British lorry drivers, so truck drivers and cab drivers um are more so going on strike that they're not able to work, and this isn't a great situation right now over in England, and um also with the addition of Brexit, um uh removing foreign nation foreign nations from England right now is taking a huge hit on their population and some of their like essential workers, so drivers and like delivery drivers and cab workers and everything.
100,000 truck drivers in the UK have had to just abandon work because they're truck drivers. They need fuel and they haven't had fuel. Over 100,000. That's not good. That's not good at all.
In other news relating to COVID and and flights within Australia, um according to Nine News, Australians could face the prospect of being able to travel to Paris before Perth, as the federal and state governments clash on border reopenings. Nine News has learned that international borders are set to reopen by December to any state that is willing to take the flights. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian has indicated that at 80% vaccination levels, Sydney Airport will begin to welcome home more stranded Australians and permit international travel. Uh, Prime Minister Scott Morrison is working on a plan to establish travel bubbles with other countries, but it's likely there will be no bubbles. Just 7 days of home quarantine for the fully vaccinated from anywhere in the world. Um, Queensland is refusing to commit to a Christmas deadline for reopening, instead waiting for updated advice at National Cabinet this Friday. Tasmania wants 90% of over 12s fully vaccinated. So, and South Australia is happy to stick to the 80% marker indicated in the national plan, while the Northern Territory will implement quarantine requirements for arrivals from Sydney. The ACT has not yet committed to reopening to a reopening date, while Western Australia is set to keep its borders shut well into 2022. So this is like by Australians and Nine News specifically have said that um, we are more likely to be going overseas than to Perth anytime soon.
Which I think is
According to
actually just like crazy. Perth is in Australia, and we could be going outside of Australia before even traveling somewhere in our own country, which is that's just crazy.
according to Premier Daniel Andrews, I don't want people locked out of their state and locked in their homes. Qantas has already made moves to adapt to the differing stances between states and territories, dumping a Perth link on its London flight in favour of a Darwin one. So that's it from Nine News, and specifically WA not being able to go anywhere to at least maybe mid 2022, end of 2022. But so yeah, it is looking better for states like um hopefully Sydney, as they are increasing their vaccination rate, and obviously they want to get around to an 80% mark, having being able to get more people home, like stranded Australians. Um, but Queensland has said that they are going to hopefully keep their borders shut. Um, yeah, Tasmania looking to keep their 80% vaccination rate for under from over 12s. Um, and the ACT is not committed to a reopening date. So this looks good in a sense of other countries have already like opened their borders, um, which is good for people wanting to travel and good for business potentially, but not good for, I would say, the health of everyday people in Australia and all that, because this is obviously still going, but vaccination may help yourself not get as sick when if you have COVID, but it's still gonna like you're still gonna have it and you can still pass it on. So that's not a great a great solution, but it is a solution for each person. But it's not a great solution in the sense that if we're going overseas anytime soon, I could still catch it. So that's good news for people wanting to travel soon. Obviously not WA, but you know that's good for Australia in general.
Yeah, like I didn't even know what happened to Western Australia, WA. They haven't been too bad with COVID. They've probably been like the fourth worst or third in Australia. At the moment, their cases are climbing. So now to news in space. NASA's newest Earth observing satellite has made it into space just 8 hours ago. The spacecraft called Landsat 9 will help extend the 50-year continuous record of global imagery collected by the Landsat family of satellites since 1972. This is the ninth land satellite that has been created. That's why it's called Landsat 9. NASA was in charge of building and launching Landsat 9 through the United States Geological Survey, which operate the satellites and processes its data. This mission was around $750 million to perform. Is the ninth in the Landsat program and will continue the program's role of monitoring and managing land resources. Landsat 9 will replace the aging of Landsat 7, the Landsat 7 satellite, which has been in orbit since 1999, so 22 years. But now, Landsat 9 is replacing Landsat 7 satellite, and Landsat 9 will work with Landsat 8, which was launched in 2013. Together, the duo will image the entire Earth every 8 days, which is pretty amazing. NASA's doing great things as well as SpaceX. But yeah, good on them.
In more sports news in the Premier League, on Sunday, Leicester City and Burnley draw 2-2. This is good for Burnley after their loss to Arsenal last weekend. Um, Everton win 2-0 over Norwich. Norwich still have not won a single game in the Premier League so far. Then we have West Ham winning narrowly over Leeds with a 2-1 win. Watford 1-1 with Newcastle. Um, uh, Brentford and Liverpool 3-3, which is very surprising for Liverpool fans. Uh, Brentford have actually been pretty decent this year. Obviously coming up from the Championship, and now playing in the Premier League and doing surprisingly well for themselves. Obviously, in the first game of the season, them beating Arsenal 2-0 was a shock to Arsenal fans around the world. But a 3-3 draw with Liverpool is very good. Then we have Southampton and Wolves. Wolves won 1-0. Um, Arsenal and Tottenham 3-1. Tottenham have been on a 3-game losing streak, I believe, um, as of their loss to Arsenal. Um, uh, a good showing from Arsenal, actually, showing a lot of promise. Saka starting to show form again. Um, a great youngster. So is Emil Smith Rowe. Um, and yeah, great, a great game from all of the Arsenal lads. Obviously, Son trying his best, could only get one back, which isn't great for all the Tottenham fans, especially because it is the North London derby, and it has to go to say as of at the moment, North London is red, and yeah. Crystal Palace today. Crystal Palace and Brighton drew 1-1. Obviously, last weekend, Crystal Palace had a great game against Tottenham, winning 3-0, which is a surprise loss. Shocking a lot of Tottenham fans. And yeah, so let's have a look at what that leaves them on the table. Liverpool in first, Man City in second, Chelsea in third, Man United in fourth, which gives all those top four right now a Champions League uh, um, Champions League position for next season. Everton in fifth, giving them Europa League, putting them in a Europa League position. Sixth is Brighton above West Ham with 13 points, West Ham on 11, Aston Villa on 10, Brentford on 9. But coming in 10th is Arsenal, just above Tottenham after their showing this weekend 3-1. With 9 points is Arsenal, and then 9 points still Tottenham. Arsenal in 11th. Arsenal and Tottenham on a same goal difference of -5, which isn't great for either club. In 12th is Watford, and in 13th is Leicester City. 14th to Wolves, 15th Crystal Palace, Southampton in 16th with a -3 goal difference. Newcastle in 17th, just above the relegation zone with a -7 goal difference. Leeds United in 18th with a -8 goal difference. Burnley in 19th, -6 goal difference. And unfortunately to say, Norwich City in 20th with a -14 goal difference, which leaves them at the bottom of the table. Leeds United, Burnley, and Norwich all in a relegation position this year so far. But it's been a pretty great season for Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Man United, and surprisingly Everton and Brighton. Aston Villa and Brentford also doing very well considering what kind of clubs they are. They are showing off very well. And yeah. So more you would expect more from clubs such as Tottenham and Arsenal and possibly Watford. Not Watford, sorry, Leicester City. Um, but yeah, that's how the season going. That's how the season is going right now. But it's shaping up to be a very exciting season, I would say, because some of the top clubs, obviously performing very well. But also some of the middle league clubs right now. So Brentford and Aston Villa, Brighton especially. Crystal Palace actually doing quite well considering they won against Tottenham 3-0. Yeah, so that's it for the Premier League from this weekend.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who listened this far into the podcast. What a great second episode this was, and I cannot wait to the next episode.
Thanks for everyone listening. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and we're looking forward to our next episode.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.